My baloney has a first name. It's O-S-C-A-R. My baloney has a second name.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Retro Bigfoot's weekly collecting video. Hopefully weekly, if I keep spending money on this ridiculous movie collection. Anyways, we have some new stuff and some old stuff. Old stuff mostly being horror, but for new stuff here, we have, let's make sure, yep. We have Hell or High Water with Jeff Bridges, Ben Foster, and Chris Pine. This movie, it was really good. It's pretty much a modern take on, I would say it's kind of like a Western. It had Western feel. Maybe it's just because it takes place in Texas. But these two brothers, Chris Pine and Ben Foster, are going around robbing banks, trying to collect a substantial amount of money. They have their reasons why they don't want to bust or rob a bigger bank. It explains that. So they're going after the smaller ones to get enough money for a specific reason. They kind of reveal later on in the film. It's not like earth-shattering or anything, but people start, communicating and realize it's the same guy as robbing all these banks. So they bring in Jeff Bridges. He's a Texas Ranger. He has a partner, and they're going after these two guys to stop them. It's very good film, very well shot. I can't really remember the soundtrack. I think it was good, but the act, this film is a good actor film. There's not like a whole lot of action. It's mostly just revolves around the two brothers' relationship, and then also Jeff Bridges' character and his partner. I can't think of that actor's name, but it was very good. The ending was very surprising too. The ending pretty much made the whole film. It was very good. And another film that also fantastic. I've been wanting to see this for quite a while. I don't go to the movies, the actual sit down movies, too often. So I wait until these films come out on Blu-ray, and then that'll be the first time I'm watching them. And this first time watch was Arrival, which not to be confused with The Arrival, which has Charlie Sheen in it, which is a pretty awesome film. The one with the aliens where their legs bend backwards. But anyways, we're talking about the film with Jeremy Renner and Amy Adams, who she's awesome. I mean, they're both really good. Jeremy Renner, very good. Been in a lot of good films, both of them. And also Forrest Whitaker, who he plays like a military commanding officer. Amy Adams plays a linguistics expert. She teaches at a college, and kind of the film opens up with her teaching at a college. All these vessels, these alien UFOs or vessels, there's 12 of them, and they appear all around the world, and the government is, everybody's looking, it's kind of going into chaos. The people are looking to the government for answers, but they don't have any because they don't know how to communicate with these aliens. And so they end up getting a hold of Amy Adams, who she's very good at breaking apart languages and decoding them and stuff. So she goes on this alien ship and slowly learns their way of writing and their way of communicating. There's a really cool process on how she figures it out, and Jeremy Renner, he's a physicist, and he's part of her team, and the two of them end up cracking this code, and while the rest of the world is also trying to do it. But yeah, it's an excellent film. Love the whole just general mood of the film. Soundtrack's great, acting's awesome. The aliens, we actually do get to see what they look like. they never show that kind of stuff in the trailers, obviously, because they want you to go like. Most people are thinking like, oh man, like are these aliens going to look really stupid like in Mission to Mars, or are they going to be cool? These aliens, I'll definitely say it was something I've never seen before. It was pretty creative aliens. I'll leave it at that, and you can make up your own mind. But I really enjoyed it. A very good movie. I would say it's kind of like a smarter science fiction film. And check it out. Let's move on to some horror films. First up, I picked up from Diabolic DVD, and it is Murder Lust. I haven't watched a lot of these horror films that I just picked up. I like the blind buy stuff, and just kind of watch it myself. If I don't like it, maybe I'll sell it, but I usually keep everything. This, I believe, revolves around a serial killer that is going around, a serial killer, they have a set group that they like to prey on, and this guy ends up, I think, falling in love with one of them. You don't really hear about that too much until, like Dexter, him, if you could say he ever fell in love with anybody, but maybe just kind of warms up to it says that looks like he murders prostitutes. I don't know a lot about it. I just really like the cover. I like that artwork. I think it looks kind of cool. Check it out. All right. Sorry if there's a really bad glare. I'm working on it. Okay, next up is by Umbrella or put out by Umbrella Entertainment. They're an Australian company, I believe, and I picked this up because the name right there, Body Melt. If you've ever seen Street Trash, that's kind of like a film where hobos are melting and stuff. So I thought maybe this would kind of be like that. I'll show you the artwork on here. It's pretty cool. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. But have not watched this one either. Umbrella Entertainment, they also put out the remake of The Blob recently, and they put out another edition of Night of the Living Dead and the remake for that as well. It's like a double feature. So they're a really good company, and most of their stuff's region free. So even if it is made in Australia, they're usually pretty safe to buy if you only get like region A, region 1. Don't Go in the House. This film I know absolutely nothing about. Ordered this from Diabolic DVD also. I'm not plugging them. That's just where I buy a lot of my stuff. VHS Viral. This obviously, well, not obviously, but this isn't my favorite VHS film. The first two, I think, are pretty much masterpieces, especially for anthology films. They're fantastic. This one, not so much. I'm not a huge fan of it, but I was just thinking about it the other day, and I was trying to remember the different stories in it. One of them I know involves them traveling to a different universe, like a parallel universe, and these people they're identical people, and I'm not explaining it right, but they end up having like some really fucked up like sex organs and stuff, and I kind of wanted to see that skit again. I just remember, wow, that was really strange. Next up, we got only one Bigfoot film. I need to order some more, but this is a Code Red title, and double feature Sasquatch and Encounter with the Unknown, which might be some type of anthology film itself. I'm not sure. Looks like Rod Serling's in it. That's kind of cool. Don't know much about it. The Sasquatch film is a type of says docudrama, like I don't know if that means like a fake documentary, or probably. But yeah, I'll definitely be checking that out soon. Gotta have my Bigfoot stuff. Sasquatch Mo. Wild Beasts. This is put out by Severin, and I have not watched this yet. I've been looking forward to watching it for quite a while. I was sitting down to watch it the other night, and I was also having dinner at the same time. I don't know if you've ever seen this film before. Like in the first 10 or 15 minutes, there's a scene at the zoo where the zookeeper is just chopping up horse heads. And I'm talking about like real horse heads, not like fake movie stuff. Actual horse heads. Is like cutting them in half and feeding them to tigers. And I was like, well, I don't mind it, but when I'm trying to eat, that's a little too much. So I'm going to have to watch this later when I'm not eating. But yeah, I believe it just these animals end up turning on people at the zoo, or maybe it's the entire city. I haven't watched it yet, but I'm really looking forward to it. Pretty cool looking cover. There's also, when I put in the Blu-ray, the opening for the Blu-ray, like the menu has a different poster, and that looks really cool. It has this tiger jumping out, and I almost wish that they would have had that as reversible artwork. I think it looks really cool. Next film is Slaughterhouse Rock. This is another Code Red film. It involves these teenagers or college students. The one here on the cover, the main guy, he keeps having these visions, pulling him towards Alcatraz, which I mean is a pretty strange movie. But he ends up talking to this teacher, and she convinces him and to go check it out, to face his fears, and brings along a bunch of his friends. Well, turns out this demon wanted him to come there and ends up possessing him, and he goes crazy like on the cover and ends up murdering like all of his friends. And yeah, it's not like a bad film or anything. The worst part of it is this Toni Basil, or whatever her name is, the lady that's saying the one-hit wonder Mickey from like the 80s is in this film for whatever reason. I guess she tried to have her hand at acting, but she plays this ghost of this heavy metal singer, and she's easily the worst part of the film. Everything else I could I could kind of be like, yeah, this is pretty cool, but her, yeah, when she showed up, it was just she was just bad, just horrible. Didn't like her at all, is what I'm trying to say. And soundtrack by Devo. That's cool, I guess. That's neat. That's a neat draw. Anyways, yeah, you should look at it. It's, if you're into kind of silly, cheesy 80s films. Looks like 1987. So, yeah, that was pretty good. Decent. Also have Mutant here. This is another Code Red. I don't normally buy too many Code Reds, but for whatever reason, the films that I was interested in getting just happened to be Code Reds. So this isn't actually a monster film, from my understanding, like the cover would suggest. This is a zombie film. And other than that, I really don't know much about it, but looks interesting. Looks like the infected people on the back there. And last here, which Synapse Films Steelbook for Phenomena with Jennifer Connelly, one of her earlier films. This is a Dario Argento film. And Synapse, they always do like a really good job with these. Want to show the alternate, not necessarily, or alternate cover, but the second cover on here. So that's the front, back. That's pretty cool. And this company is really good, but they actually forgot to include my second disc here. It's supposed to come with 3 discs, like 2 Blu-rays and a CD, but there was just like a mishap. I sent them an email like immediately after I got it, and they responded really quick, and the second disc is on its way. So like, thank you Synapse for having awesome customer service. That's really cool. So those are my films that I have gotten for week 2. Really looking forward to week 3. I got some other stuff either coming or I'm planning on getting, so I will update you then. So thanks a lot. I really appreciate checking out my channel. It's a pretty small channel right now, obviously. But if you just want to, talk about any of those films or talking about any films in general, just hit me up in the comments section and I'll be sure to get back to you. Thank you and have a good day.